The year was 2157, and Earth had changed. Humans had spread beyond their home planet to Mars and several moons of Jupiter and Saturn. The stars no longer seemed so far away. Commander Alex Hughes stood on the bridge of the UESF Dauntless, watching the blue-green planet of Tau Ceti grow larger on the main screen. He ran a hand through his short brown hair and took a deep breath. This was the moment he had trained for his entire career. "All systems normal, Commander," said Lieutenant Samantha Reeves from her station. Her dark eyes never left her displays as her fingers danced across the controls. "Planetary scans show no signs of civilization, but there's abundant plant life and what appears to be simple animal species." Alex nodded. "Thank you, Lieutenant. Prepare the landing team. I want boots on the ground within the hour." The Dauntless was humanity's pride, the first starship equipped with the new faster-than-light drive. After decades of being confined to their solar system, humans were finally reaching for the stars. Tau Ceti, just 12 light-years from Earth, was their first destination. Chief Engineer Ben Martinez approached Alex with a tablet in hand. "Commander, I've completed the final checks on the shuttle. She's ready to go whenever you are." His voice carried the slight accent of someone raised in the southwestern territories of North America. "Good work, Ben. You're coming with us." Alex turned to address the bridge crew. "Lieutenant Reeves, you'll join the landing party as well." "Lieutenant Carter, you have the bridge until we return." Karen Carter, a tall woman with red hair pulled back in a tight bun, gave a crisp nod. "Yes, sir. We'll keep the porch light on for you." The shuttle bay was busy with activity when Alex arrived. The team of 12 was checking equipment and supplies. This was to be a short exploratory mission, just enough to collect samples and preliminary data on the planet's environment. Dr. Greg Wilson, the mission's lead scientist, approached Alex with an excited smile. "Commander, this is history in the making. The first human footprints on a truly alien world." "Let's hope it's uneventful history, Doctor," Alex replied with a small smile. "I prefer boring missions to exciting ones." The shuttle launch went smoothly. As they descended through the atmosphere of Tau Ceti's third planet, Alex watched the alien landscape come into view. Rolling hills covered in what looked like purple grass stretched to the horizon. Strange tree-like plants with spiral trunks dotted the landscape. Their landing site was a flat plain near what appeared to be a river. As the shuttle touched down, Alex felt a mix of emotions: pride, excitement, and a touch of fear. They were the first humans to set foot on this world. The team exited the shuttle in their environmental suits. Though scans had shown the atmosphere was surprisingly close to Earth's, just with higher oxygen levels. Protocol was protocol. "Stay within visual range of the shuttle," Alex ordered. "Dr. Wilson, you have 2 hours to collect your samples." The team spread out, gathering soil, plant material, and data. Everything was going according to plan, until it wasn't. "Commander," Samantha's voice came through the comm, tight with tension. "I'm detecting an object approaching from orbit. It's big, and it's heading straight for us." Alex looked up but could see nothing in the clear blue-green sky. "Everyone back to the shuttle, now." Before they could reach safety, a shadow fell over the landing site. Alex looked up to see a massive ship, at least 3 times the size of the Dauntless, hovering above them. Its dark hull was covered in what looked like scales made of metal, giving it the appearance of some enormous spacefaring predator. "Commander Hughes," Ben's voice was hushed. "That's not one of ours." Alex touched the communication panel on his suit. "Lieutenant Carter, are you seeing this?" "Yes, sir," came the reply. "The ship appeared out of nowhere. Our sensors didn't detect it until it was already in orbit. Prepare defensive systems, but take no action unless I give the order." The alien ship descended until it hovered just 100 meters above the ground. A beam of light shot down, and within it appeared 3 tall figures that slowly lowered to the surface about 50 meters from the human team. Alex stepped forward, motioning for the others to stay back. As the aliens approached, he got his first clear look at them. They stood nearly 8 feet tall, with powerful bodies covered in gleaming scales that shifted from green to blue, depending on how the light hit them. Their heads were reptilian, with amber eyes that had vertical pupils like a cat's. Each had a crest of what looked like colorful feathers or fins running from the top of their heads down their backs. "I am Commander Alex Hughes of the United Earth Space Force," Alex said clearly, hoping his suit's external speakers were working properly. "We come in peace for the purpose of scientific exploration." The center alien, whose scales had more of a golden hue than the others, stepped forward. To Alex's surprise, it spoke in perfect English. "I am High Hunter Kraz of the Varaxian Dominion," the alien said, its voice deep and slightly hissing. "You trespass in territory claimed by the supreme predators of the galaxy." Alex blinked in surprise. "We had no knowledge of any claim to this system. Our scans showed no signs of settlement or civilization." Kraz made a sound that might have been a laugh. "We do not settle, we hunt, we claim. All stars within 500 light-years of our homeworld belong to the Varaxian Dominion." "We apologize for the misunderstanding," Alex said carefully. "We are new to interstellar travel and were unaware of your claims." The alien's head tilted slightly. "New? You mean your species has only recently achieved faster than light travel?" "Yes. This is our first mission beyond our home system." Kraz turned to his companions and spoke in a series of clicks and hisses. They responded in kind, and Alex wished he could understand what they were saying. Their body language suggested amusement. "How fortunate for us," Kraz said, turning back to Alex. "We have conquered 27 species across 46 star systems. Each has their place in the Dominion. Some serve as laborers, others as food." Alex felt a chill run down his spine. "We have no interest in conquest or being conquered. We seek only peaceful exploration and possibly trade." "Peace is for prey," Kraz said dismissively. "The strong rule, the weak serve. This is the way of the universe. But we are not unreasonable. We will allow you to return to your homeworld and inform your leaders. They will have 1 month to prepare for our arrival and their submission to Varaxian rule." Alex stood his ground. "With all due respect, High Hunter, humans don't submit easily. We would prefer peaceful relations between equals." This time, all 3 aliens made the laughing sound. "Equals? Look at you. Soft skin, no claws, no natural weapons. You are prey species who have gotten above their station." While this conversation continued, Samantha had been quietly scanning the aliens with her handheld device. She slowly moved to Alex's side and whispered, "Commander, their biology suggests they evolved as ambush predators. High muscle density but likely poor stamina for extended exertion." At the same time, Ben, who had been studying the alien ship with his engineering scanner, approached from the other side. "Sir, their tech is advanced, but I'm detecting several vulnerabilities in their shielding systems." Kraz's eyes narrowed. "What are your underlings telling you, Commander?" "They're just curious about meeting an alien species for the first time," Alex replied smoothly. "As are we all. But I must insist that Earth will not submit to rule by another species. We are willing to establish diplomatic relations, however." Kraz's crest flared, showing bright red and orange colors. "Your insolence is amusing but misplaced." "Very well. Return to your world, Commander Alex Hughes. Tell your leaders that the galaxy's apex predators have found them. You have 1 month before the hunt begins." With that, the 3 Varaxians stepped back into the beam of light and rose back to their ship. As they departed, Alex turned to his team. "Everyone back to the shuttle. Now, we need to get this information to Earth immediately." As the shuttle lifted off, Dr. Wilson asked the question on everyone's mind. "Commander, what are we going to do?" Alex looked out the viewport at the alien world below, then at the stars beyond. "We're going to prepare. And when these Varaxians come looking for prey, they're going to find something they didn't expect." "What's that, sir?" asked one of the younger crew members. Alex's expression hardened. "Predators that don't give up." The Dauntless returned to Earth in record time. The news of the Varaxian threat spread quickly. People were scared, but they were also angry. Humans had only just reached the stars, and already someone was trying to take that away from them. Cair, United Earth Council met in the Grand Hall in Geneva. Representatives from all Earth nations and off-world colonies filled the room. Commander Alex Hughes stood before them, describing his encounter with the Varaxians. They gave us 1 month to prepare for submission, Alex concluded. Based on their technology and what they told us, they've conquered many other species. They consider themselves the apex predators of the galaxy. The room erupted with voices. Some called for immediate surrender to save lives. Others demanded a fight to the end. Council President Maria Diaz raised her hand for silence. Commander Hughes, in your professional opinion, do we stand any chance against these aliens? Alex looked around the room. Madam President, the Varaxians are physically stronger than us. Their technology is more advanced. But my team noticed some weaknesses. Chief Engineer Martinez, please share your findings. Ben Martinez stepped forward, his normally relaxed face serious now. Their ships have powerful weapons, but their shield systems have flaws. They seem to focus on offense over defense, and Lieutenant Reeves noticed something important about their biology. Samantha Reeves joined them at the podium. The Varaxians appear to be ambush predators. They're built for short bursts of extreme power, not prolonged exertion. In simple terms, they're sprinters, not marathon runners. President Diaz considered this information. So what are you suggesting? That we fight, said a new voice. Admiral, Lisa Connor had entered the chamber. She was a veteran of the Mars Rebellion, known for her tactical brilliance. Her gray-streaked black hair was cut short, and her blue uniform bore the marks of many years of service. Admiral Connor, Diaz acknowledged. You believe we can win this fight? I believe we must try, Connor replied. And I believe we have advantages the Varaxians don't expect. She walked to the center of the room. Throughout Earth's history, humans were not the strongest or fastest predators, but we were the most persistent. We evolved as endurance hunters, who could chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. She turned to face the council. I propose we use that same strategy against the Varaxians. We don't need to overpower them. We need to outlast them. After hours of debate, the council voted. Earth would fight. Admiral Connor was appointed Supreme Commander of Earth's Defense Forces. Commander Hughes was promoted to captain and given command of a small fleet. Their mission was to gather intelligence and slow the Varaxian advance when they arrived. Over the next 3 weeks, Earth transformed. Every factory shifted to producing weapons and ships. Scientists worked around the clock to develop new technologies. Based on the data from the Dauntless. Dr. Alan Phillips, a weapons designer with a reputation for unconventional thinking, led the technical response. His lab in the Rocky Mountains became the center of Earth's technological resistance. The key is to exploit their weaknesses, he explained to Captain Hughes during a visit. Their shields are vulnerable to certain electromagnetic frequencies, and their communication systems can be disrupted. Alex nodded, watching as scientists tested new weapons. Will it be enough? Dr. Phillips smiled slightly. It has to be. Meanwhile, Admiral Connor was developing Earth's defensive strategy. She sat in her command center surrounded by maps and models. The Varaxians expect us to make a stand at Earth, she said to her officers. And we will. But not in the way they think. Captain John Rivera, leader of Earth's Special Forces, leaned forward. What's the plan, Admiral? Persistence hunting, she replied. We let them come, but we never give them a clear target. We strike, then fade away. We force them to chase us, to use energy. We make them fight on multiple fronts, never letting them rest. A war of attrition, Rivera said with a nod. Exactly. They may be stronger, but we'll see who lasts longer. As Earth prepared for war, an unexpected event changed everything. A small alien ship appeared at the edge of the solar system. It was damaged and barely moving. Earth's defense ships surrounded it, ready to attack. Wait, Alex ordered from the bridge of his ship, the Valiant. That's not a Varaxian design. The alien vessel transmitted a message. Help, refugees, fleeing Varaxians. After careful scans showed the ship posed no threat, Alex allowed it to approach Earth. Inside were 30 aliens who called themselves Tellurians. They were tall and slender, with gray skin and large dark eyes. Their leader was Ambassador Zell, in Phi. The council chamber. Zell spoke to the human leaders. Were a peaceful species. We had just begun exploring nearby stars when the Varaxians found us. They demanded our submission. We tried to negotiate. They responded by destroying our 3 largest cities. How many of your people survived? President Diaz asked gently. Less than 10,000 hidden in underground shelters, Zell replied. We are the last diplomatic mission, seeking help from other species. And how many have helped you? Admiral Connor asked. None. Most are too afraid. Some are already Varaxian subjects. Zell looked around in confusion. Which is why your response puzzles us. You're preparing to fight? The Varaxians have never been defeated. There's always a first time, Connor said. Zell's large eyes blinked rapidly. You don't understand. They have conquered 27 species. They have hundreds of ships, thousands of warriors. Tell me, Ambassador, Connor said. In these battles, did any species ever truly fight back? Or did they surrender quickly to avoid destruction? Zell was quiet for a moment. Most surrendered after initial attacks. A few fought but were quickly overwhelmed. So no one has ever tested their stamina, their ability to sustain a prolonged conflict? No, I suppose not. Connor smiled slightly. Then they haven't faced humans before. The Tellurians offered valuable intelligence about Varaxian tactics and psychology. In return, humans provided shelter and protection. Ambassador Zell worked closely with Dr. Phillips, helping to refine anti-Varaxian technology. Their society is built on strength and dominance, Zell explained. They respect only power. Those who submit are considered natural prey. What happens to the species they conquer? Alex asked. Some become servants, others are used for food or sport. The lucky ones are simply left alone to provide resources. And what happened when species resisted? The Varaxians would increase their attacks until resistance collapsed. But as I said, no one ever maintained resistance for long. One day, while watching humans train for combat, Zell approached Admiral Connor. You truly believe you can win, don't you? Connor watched as Captain Rivera led his special forces through drills designed to exploit Varaxian weaknesses. We have, too. But you're outnumbered. Their technology is superior. By all logic, you should surrender and save lives. Connor turned to the alien ambassador. Logic doesn't account for human stubbornness, Ambassador Zell. Throughout our history, we've faced seemingly impossible odds. Sometimes we've lost. But often, we've won simply because we refused to give up. She gestured to the soldiers training. Every one of them knows the odds. Every one of them is still here fighting. Zell seemed troubled. The Varaxians will show no mercy. Neither will we, Connor replied. They think we're prey. They think we'll run or submit when faced with a stronger predator. She looked Zell directly in the eyes. But they've made a mistake. They don't understand what they're dealing with. What do you mean? You don't understand, Connor said with a grim smile. We're not trapped in here with them, they're trapped in here with us. 3 days before the Varaxian deadline, Earth's early warning systems detected multiple ships entering the solar system. The Varaxians had arrived ahead of schedule, hoping to catch Earth unprepared. They were about to learn their first lesson about humanity. Humans are always ready to fight for their survival. The Varaxian fleet entered the solar system with confidence. 50 warships, each larger than anything humans had built, moved toward Earth. Their hulls gleamed like polished scales in the sunlight. At their center was the massive command ship of High Hunter Kraz. On its bridge, Kraz watched the screens with anticipation. Show me the human defenses, he ordered. His second-in-command, Sub-Hunter Vex, brought up the scans. They appear disorganized, High Hunter. Their ships are scattered, some are retreating already. Kraz's mouth formed what might have been a smile, showing rows of sharp teeth. As expected, they realize resistance is futile. Target their largest defense station first. Once it falls, their will to fight will collapse. The Varaxian fleet moved toward a large space station orbiting Mars. It was heavily armed but seemed to be operating at reduced power. They're not even at full alert, Vex noted with disappointment. This hunt will be over quickly. Perhaps too quickly, Kraz said. I had hoped for more sport from them. The Varaxian ship surrounded the station and opened fire. Their energy weapons tore through its outer defenses easily. After just minutes of bombardment, the station appeared dead, in space. Prepare boarding parties, Kraz ordered. Let's claim our first human trophies. 5 Varaxian ships moved in close to attach to the station. As they came within range, the seemingly dead station suddenly lit up. Powerful electromagnetic pulses shot out in all directions. The 5 closest Varaxian ships went dark instantly, their systems overloaded. It's a trap, Vex shouted. Before Kraz could respond, 20 smaller human vessels appeared from behind Mars. They fired precisely at the disabled Varaxian ships, targeting their weapon systems and engines. Pull back, Kraz ordered. Regroup the fleet. As the Varaxian ships retreated, Admiral Connor watched from her command center on Earth. Phase 1 complete, she said to her officers. The EMP station worked exactly as Dr. Phillips promised. Captain Rivera nodded. 5 of their ships disabled without a single human casualty. Not a bad start. It's only a start, Connor cautioned. Now comes the hard part. Captain Hughes, are you in position? Alex's voice came through the comm system. Ready and waiting, Admiral. The Valiant and her sister ships are hidden in the asteroid belt. We'll strike when they pass. Connor looked at the strategic display. Small human ships were scattered throughout the solar system, hiding behind moons, in asteroid fields, and in the atmospheres of gas giants. Remember, she told her commanders, we're not trying to win big battles. We're wearing them down. Hit and run. Make them chase us. Never give them a clear target. In space, the remaining Varaxian fleet regrouped. Kraz was furious. Find those human ships, he ordered. I want them destroyed. The Varaxian fleet split into hunting groups. They began searching the solar system, looking for the elusive human vessels. Whenever they found one, the human ship would fire a few shots, then flee at high speed, leading the Varaxians on long chases through dangerous regions of space. Captain Hughes and the Valiant emerged from hiding as a Varaxian hunting group passed the asteroid belt. They fired quick, precise shots at the rear ships, damaging their engines, then disappeared back into the asteroid field. The Varaxians followed, their larger ships struggling to navigate the tightly packed rocks. 2 more Varaxian vessels were damaged when they collided with asteroids while in pursuit. This is working better than expected, Alex said to his crew. They're so eager to catch us that they're making mistakes. Lieutenant Samantha Reeves smiled from her station. Just like you said back in training, they're ambush predators. They're not used to chasing prey that fights back. Meanwhile, Dr. Wright's communication disruptors were creating chaos in the Varaxian fleet. Their orders became garbled or were sent to the wrong ships. Some Varaxian captains received contradictory commands, causing confusion and delays. After a week of frustrating chases and failed ambushes, Kraz made a decision. These games have gone on long enough. Prepare for a full-ground invasion of the human homeworld. We will hunt them on their own territory. Hundreds of Varaxian landing craft descended to Earth, touching down across different continents. The aliens expected swift victories against the physically weaker humans. Instead, they found themselves fighting in environments ranging from scorching deserts to freezing mountains, dense jungles to open plains. In the Rocky Mountains of North America, Lieutenant Kelly Dawson led a group of 50 soldiers against a much larger Varaxian force. But rather than engaging in direct combat, they used the terrain to their advantage. They set traps, fired from hidden positions, then quickly relocated. Keep moving, Kelly ordered her team. Don't let them pin us down. Remember your training. The Varaxians, used to quick kills and immediate surrender, grew increasingly frustrated. Their powerful bodies, evolved for short bursts of intense activity, began to tire as the humans led them on exhausting chases through difficult terrain. In the Amazon rainforest, Major Frank Powell coordinated global resistance efforts from a hidden base. His screens showed the positions of human and Varaxian forces worldwide. Notice the pattern, he told Ambassador Zell, who watched with amazement. The Varaxians start strong, but after a few hours of constant movement, they slow down. Their attacks become less coordinated. I've never seen anyone fight them this way, Zell admitted. Most species try to match strength with strength. That would be suicide for us, Frank replied. We're using our natural advantages instead. Humans evolved to persistence hunt. We can maintain steady activity for hours, even days. The Varaxians can't. On the Varaxian command ship, Kraz was receiving troubling reports from his ground forces. The humans refuse to stand and fight, one commander complained. They strike, then flee. When we chase, they lead us into traps or difficult terrain. My warriors are exhausting themselves for little gain. They are cowards, Kraz snarled. No, High Hunter, the commander said hesitantly. I believe this is their strategy. They are wearing us down. For the first time, Kraz felt a flicker of doubt. This was not how prey was supposed to behave. On Earth, Admiral Connor received word that Captain Rivera's special forces had successfully infiltrated a Varaxian command ship. They had gathered valuable intelligence and sabotaged several systems before escaping undetected. The Varaxians are starting to make mistakes, Rivera reported. Their warriors are tired and confused. Their commanders are frustrated. Even their High Hunter is showing signs of stress. Connor nodded. Good. Now we move to Phase 3. She turned to Dr. Phillips. Is the virus ready? Ready and waiting, he confirmed. Once uploaded to their main navigation system, it will strand their fleet in our solar system. They won't be able to call for reinforcements or escape. Connor addressed her command staff. The Varaxians thought they were hunting us, but for the past 2 weeks, we've actually been hunting them. Now it's time to close the trap. Throughout Earth, human forces began to change tactics. Instead of just evading, they started encircling isolated Varaxian units, cutting them off from support. The tired alien warriors found themselves surrounded by humans who showed no signs of fatigue or mercy. In orbit, the human fleets emerged, from hiding, no longer running but advancing together toward the Varaxian command ship. On its bridge, Kraz watched in disbelief as the human ships approached in perfect formation. What is happening? He demanded. These are not the same disorganized creatures we found weeks ago. High Hunter, Vex said quietly. I believe we may have misjudged these humans. Kraz looked at the screens showing his scattered and exhausted forces. For the first time in his life, he felt something new. The fear of the hunted, not the hunter. In the 3rd week of the war, Ambassador Zell worked in a secure lab with Dr. Phillips. They were studying a captured Varaxian warrior. The alien was sedated as they took biological readings. I don't understand, Zell said, looking at the data. According to these readings, the Varaxians aren't true apex predators at all. Dr. Phillips studied the results with interest. What do you mean? Their biology suggests they were mid-level predators on their home planet. Quick and strong, yes, but not the top of the food chain. Zell pointed to specific readings. See these defensive adaptations? True apex predators don't need these. Dr. Phillips's eyes widened. So their whole identity is based on a lie? Not exactly a lie, Zell explained. They developed technology early in their evolution. They used tools to compensate for their biological limitations. Then they used those tools to dominate other species. And those other species? Mostly peaceful or specialized. None were persistence predators like humans. Zell looked up. They've never faced anything like you before. Dr. Phillips activated his comm. Admiral Connor needs to hear this. In her command center, Admiral Connor listened to their findings with growing interest. So you're saying the Varaxians aren't actually the supreme predators they claim to be? She asked. They have aspects of both predator and prey in their biology, Dr. Phillips explained. They're powerful sprinters, but they evolved to chase easy targets and avoid prolonged hunts. Connor leaned forward. And humans? Humans evolved to chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion, Dr. Phillips said. You have unmatched stamina among known species. Your bodies can cool efficiently through sweating. Your breathing and running are separate functions, unlike most animals. Your tendons store and release energy with each step. In simple terms, Zell added, they've never faced a species that evolved to chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. They have no concept of what it means to fight something that simply doesn't stop. Connor smiled. Then it's time to show them. Prepare. Operation Persistence. Throughout the solar system, human forces launched a coordinated attack on Varaxian positions. Unlike their earlier hit-and-run tactics, this was a sustained offensive on all fronts. On Earth, Major Frank Powell sent new orders to all ground forces. Maintain continuous pressure, no breaks, no pauses. Rotate your troops to stay fresh. Don't let the Varaxians rest for even an hour. In the Rocky Mountains, Lieutenant Kelly Dawson led her team in constant harassment of Varaxian positions. When her soldiers grew tired, fresh troops would arrive to replace them, while the Varaxians had no such rotation. They're slowing down, Kelly reported after 36 hours of continuous operations. Their movements are sluggish. Their reaction times are getting worse. In orbit, Captain Alex Hughes led the Valiant in a bold attack on a Varaxian supply vessel. His ship darted in, fired precisely, and moved to the next target without pause. Keep the pressure on, he told his crew. We've trained for this. They haven't. As planned, Dr. Wright began broadcasting translated human battle cries and war songs on Varaxian frequencies. The sounds of human voices, shouting words the Varaxians couldn't understand, but could recognize as triumphant or threatening, created psychological terror. From his command ship, Kraz watched as his forces began to falter across the solar system. How are they still fighting? He demanded. It's been days without pause. They should be exhausted. They rotate their forces, Vex explained wearily. Fresh humans replace tired ones. We cannot match this. We are Varaxians, Kraz shouted. We are the hunters, not the hunted. High Hunter, Vex said carefully. I request permission to speak freely. Kraz glared but nodded. We may have misjudged these humans. They are not like other species we have conquered. They do not tire as we do. They do not fear as others. In their tactics, Vex hesitated. They hunt like true apex predators. Before Kraz could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. Intruders detected in Section 7, a voice announced. On board the Varaxian flagship, Captain Rivera and his Special Forces team moved silently through the corridors. They had infiltrated during the confusion of battle, wearing modified environmental suits that masked their heat signatures from Varaxian sensors. We need to reach the main navigation center, Rivera told his team. Dr. Phillips's virus must be uploaded there. As they moved deeper into the ship, they encountered Varaxian guards. The aliens were clearly exhausted, their reactions slow. Rivera's team subdued them quickly and continued on. In the navigation center, they found what they were looking for, the central computer hub that controlled the entire Varaxian fleet's navigation systems. A team member plugged in a small device prepared by Dr. Phillips. Virus uploading, she reported. 90 seconds until complete. Good, Rivera said. Once it's done, this fleet isn't going anywhere. They'll be stranded in our solar system. Alarms continued to sound as they completed their mission and began to withdraw. They had one more task, to capture the navigation data for the entire Varaxian fleet. This would give Earth the locations of all Varaxian-controlled systems. As they reached their extraction point, Rivera transmitted a simple message. Package delivered. Bonus acquired, coming home. In her command center, Admiral Connor received the message with satisfaction. Perfect. Now we spring the final trap. She opened a channel to all Earth forces. Operation Persistence is now in its final phase. All ships execute Protocol Endgame. Throughout the solar system, human ships that had been harassing the Varaxians suddenly changed tactics. They began precise coordinated attacks on Varaxian engines and weapon systems. Rather than destroying the alien vessels, they were disabling them. On Earth, ground forces surrounded exhausted Varaxian units, cutting off their escape routes and communications. After 3 weeks of non-stop combat, The exhausted Varaxian forces began to collapse. Ship after ship went dark or surrendered. Ground units threw down their weapons. On his command ship, Kraz watched in disbelief as his mighty fleet was systematically disabled. His own vessel was surrounded by human ships that had once fled from him. "Hi, Hunter," a communication officer reported. "We're receiving a transmission from the human leader." Admiral Connor's face appeared on the main screen. Her expression was calm but determined. "Hi, Hunter Kraz," she said. "This is Admiral Lisa Connor of the United Earth Space Force. Your fleet is disabled. Your ground forces are captured or surrounded. Your navigation systems have been compromised. You have no reinforcements coming and no means of escape." Kraz stared at the human woman in shock. "This is impossible. We are the Varaxian Dominion. We have conquered 27 species across 46 star systems. We are the galaxy's apex predators." "Not anymore," Connor replied simply. "I am offering you one chance. Unconditional surrender. All Varaxian forces will lay down their weapons. All conquered species will be freed. The Varaxian Dominion will end today." "And if I refuse?" Kraz snarled. "Then we continue until none of your forces remain functional," Connor said. "The choice is yours, but I suggest you choose quickly. Humans are patient hunters, but we have our limits." Kraz looked around his bridge. His officers were exhausted, some barely able to stand after weeks of constant alert. His mighty fleet was scattered and disabled. For the first time in Varaxian history, they had been outmatched and outfought. "How?" he asked, his voice quieter. "Now, how did you defeat us? You were supposed to be prey." "That was your mistake," Connor replied. "You thought being an apex predator was about being the strongest or the most ferocious. But on Earth, we learned long ago that true apex predators are defined by persistence, adaptability, and cooperation. You never stood a chance." Kraz looked down for a long moment. Then he raised his head and spoke the words no Varaxian had ever spoken before. "We surrender." 6 months later, the former Varaxian Empire had been reorganized into the Galactic Cooperative, with humans helping previously subjugated species rebuild their societies. The Varaxians, under new leadership, began the difficult process of finding their place in a galaxy where they were no longer the dominant power. On the bridge of the Dauntless, now upgraded and repaired, Admiral Alex Hughes prepared to lead a diplomatic mission to distant stars. "Course laid in, Admiral," Lieutenant Reeves reported. "We're ready when you are." Alex looked out at the stars before him. "What do you think we'll find out there, Sam?" "More friends than enemies, I hope," she replied with a smile. "After what happened with the Varaxians, I think most species will want to be on our good side." Alex nodded. "Let's hope so. But either way, we'll be ready." As the Dauntless left Earth orbit, Alex reflected that humanity's greatest strength was never its weapons or technology. It was something uniquely human, the ability to face impossible odds with determination, to adapt to any challenge, and to keep going when others would have given up. The galaxy's so-called apex predators had challenged humanity and regretted it instantly. And now the stars were open to a new kind of explorer, one that came in peace but should never be underestimated.